Hopefully this time my recording won't hang up. I'd like to point out a couple of things. There's a 4-part series that I had on my old channel, and I need to find it again. It goes into about global warming. See, the government's telling us it's CO2. CO2 is up in the ionosphere. CO2 reflects the sun's energy back out into space. The real reason we're having global warming, as well as the change in precipitation levels worldwide, is the amount of particles we have produced through, like, burning coal for fuel into the lower atmosphere, and say around 30,000 feet or more through 30 angels. So you have all of these particles, and the moisture that's in the atmosphere has to have a solid to condense itself upon to form an actual raindrop. Well, now because we've got so many particles, the moisture condenses on the particles that are up there, but there's too many, so there's not enough that consolidates on one single particle to create a raindrop. The second thing I'd like to go into about this is I don't know if there's anybody here on YouTube that is a geologist, but I'd like to get the answer to this question, and I think it's a valid question. Has the Earth's magnetic field been getting weaker? If it gets weaker, we could have a slight polar shift, not a geological one where the skin slips over the, the crust slips over the core. Not that type. Just a shift in the geomagnetic poles. And then I have to get into the subject of electromagnetic radiation. We know in the past, well, I do, and some others, I don't know if it's common knowledge. So you have to forgive me. Some things I'm focused and fixated on, and it's come from other areas that I can't refer you to. But on these things that I'm talking about, I can. But as far as the electromagnetic warfare, no, I can't. Unless you want to subscribe to military.com, maybe they might have some articles on it, but it's pretty hush hush. We're currently still using electromagnetic energy as a weapon, or weather modification, or whatever they want to say they're using it for. It doesn't matter what name. It's the physics of it, what they're doing with it, and I'll explain that. When you have matter or energy particle, waveform, proton, it doesn't matter what energy state it is in. It will react the same way in a lot of aspects as a solid does. When we use a laser, okay, just picture these two pieces of paper as one pane of glass. The laser comes in here. On the outside layer of the glass, the laser bends, going through the glass. When it reaches the inside of this pane here, it bends again. And then whatever medium is in the middle causes it to bend yet again. And then you've got two more faces on this panel that bends the light. Not all is bent, not all is transmitted, because in laser we have a saying, RATS. RAT stands for reflection, absorption, transmission, and scatter. By scatter, that's reflection back off of the surface that you're going through. So we've got HAARP putting billions of watts into the atmosphere. Well, when it hits the ionosphere, it pushes a column of air 8 miles out into space. What are you talking about? Massive amounts of electromagnetic energy here. And if the Earth's magnetic field is getting weaker in some areas, how is this going to affect our planet? It ain't going to be nice. It won't be a positive outcome for us. Uh, the inmates have the keys to the asylum, it seems. I'm not going to get into the speculation about whether it caused the earthquakes and everything else. There's a lot of content out here. Myself, I'm of the opinion, and my opinion's based on knowledge and research of energy and energy transmission of different frequencies, whether it's an electrical, laser, the whole full spectrum. They all apply to the same laws of physics, where it fluctuates between matter and energy. It's instantaneous. Light is not just a photon, it's part particle and part wave. And I drove my college professors crazy with this. Well, which is it? And and if it is a particle, it's a particle of what? Atomically, what is it? They could never answer. And I started to aggravate them, so they started calling me Einstein because I'm not satisfied with just one answer. I want to know how it really ticks, how it works. So we've got all this electromagnetic energy that's shooting around, and how much is it interfering with the Earth's magnetic field? And could we not have in the past, by usage of electromagnetic energy as a form of warfare, have weakened the Earth's magnetic field or changed it in some ways that may be insignificant? I see this thing is still hanging. Too much stuff going on at once. But I've also noticed uh, I need to get to the website that shows the magnetic fields of the Earth. I'm sorry I'm skipping around. But there's one other thing I'd like to get into. And you all know about all the cell towers that are going up everywhere. Cell phone usage is being pushed and pushed and pushed. Even in the house now, cordless phones. So you're still this antenna. Just think of a ball on top of this antenna and it radiating out in 360 degrees. That's what it does. Unless you have a directional antenna or bidirectional. Now, when I rebuilt this woman's computer, I went to Google to sign her up for Gmail. And this is not the first time I've noticed this because I tried to log into Google under my old username to get my account back, and I was able to log into my skeen 1956, but I couldn't create an account under Not Lucky in Life and tie those two accounts together. So why is it now that Google insists you have a cell phone so they can send you a text message to verify your account for a free Gmail account? I made another video earlier before about how in the it was the 80s. I don't know specifically what years, but there was a study done and there was a bunch of people that cancer of the same type in numerous members of the community, and these were in communities where they were around high-powered transmission lines. Direct link there, but yet they keep wanting to deny it. Again, the aluminum, not only is it the aluminum they're talking about that burns when that's part of thermite, by the way, aluminum and rust, oxidized iron. You get beryllium and barium also weakens our immune systems. So if anybody can give me any information, if you're a professional, if you've studied the magnetic